The United States have the richest history in the sport of track and field, and throughout the years, the country produced a countless number of stars in a variety of events, from the sprints to the longer distances. However, today we will be looking at the female sprinters, as the country produced a lot of women who went on to break world records, win world championships, and Olympic titles. This is why coming together with a list of the 5 greatest female sprinters seemed like an impossible task, but somehow after creating a short list of 14 women, the list finally got reduced to 5, and in this video, we will be taking a look at these 5 women who managed to amaze the world meanwhile representing the North American giants. Before we go ahead, it would be beneficial to take a look at the basis on which we decide the greatness of an athlete. The main thing considered is the athlete's body of work, which includes their performances on the global stages and records. So meanwhile, a Pan-American title holds high value, it still will not be worth the same as a world title, depending on the era the athlete was a part of. So with that said, let's get straight to the list. It really puts into perspective just how much quality the United States have produced when someone of high caliber like Evelyn Ashford is 5th on the list. Ashford was a true pioneer of sprinting, reshaping what the concept of natural speed really means. The strongest part of her claim as one of the greatest ever is that she managed to defeat athletes who were known to have been using performance enhancements. It was widely regarded as the dirtiest era of track and field, with a massive territory like East Germany participating in state-sponsored doping. You really had to be something special to win a single gold medal in that era, which she did in the 100 meters and doubled up when she took her relay home to another gold medal. Her career's worth is more than the medals she has though, which are 2 Olympic medals, gold in the 100 meters in 1984, silver in the same event in 1988, Pan-American sprint double gold medals in 1979, 3 gold medals at the Goodwill Games, and her 3 consecutive Olympic relay gold medals from 1988 straight through to 1992. You can argue that Ashford could be higher on this list, as that was the initial view at first, but after carefully going over it again and again for about 1,000 times, it seems like a fitting place. Mainly because she could have done more if not for her injuries before 1984, and after 1988, Ashford could not return like she was once, hence her medal collections and accomplishments don't truly reflect her ability. In the mid-1900s, the only chance athletes would get to really prove that they are best in the world is at the Olympics. This is one of the reasons why at one point it was considered as next to impossible to remain Olympic champion. However, Wyomia Tyus did the unthinkable when she stormed away from teammate Barbara Farrell in 1968 to become the first female to ever win back-to-back sprint titles at the Olympic Games. Tyus is probably the mother of sprinting consistency. To think, she was dominating from the age of 19 when she equaled the world record and won her first Olympic title, right up to the age of 23 when she won her second Olympic title. All this elevated her to become a role model for the upcoming generations and might have inspired the other women on this list as well. If you are not yet convinced this list was a hard one to put together, seeing the fastest woman ever in the 3rd position surely have. It is of the norm, great sprinters need records and Olympic titles. Well, Flo Jo has both, but yet she is in the 3rd position. Why? Well, Flo Jo, apart from breaking records after records, she does not have the best record in major competitions. She lost multiple gold label events, placing as bad as 6th, but she did do well in the 1984 Olympics, and then even better in 1988, where she set a new Olympic record and won gold in both the 100 and the 200 meters. Florence Griffith-Joyner was a once-in-a-lifetime kind of athlete, and had her career been longer, things would have been so different in terms of her medal counts, because she already has a number of nearly invincible world records. It is almost impossible to have a conversation about the greatest female sprinters in the world and not mention the name, Gail. While she may have had a slow start in the era of Flo Jo, she revived her career really well to dominate not just the 100 meters, but the hurdle equivalent. This is something that no other athlete in the sport has ever done, even with top-class hurdlers proving they have great speed. Unlike her counterparts on this list, she also dominated the indoor circuits, winning both the 60 meters and 60 meters hurdle titles. Her 100 meters title defense brought her career on a different level, as she became the second woman ever to successfully pull that off. The most telling part of her story is that in 1990, she could had to be carried around due to inability to walk after a surgery she had for toxic diffuse goiter. To think a woman at one point losing weight and being unable to even walk would come back to dominate and accomplish so much, defeating the world's best over and over again in not just one, but two separate events that require separate skills. It is for that reason that Gail Devers is not just the great American female sprinter, but one of the very best sprinters to have ever set foot on a track. Whenever you think of longevity and dominance, the name Allyson Felix has to come to mind. Felix proved to be a menace on the international stage since the age of 18, when she denied the likes of Debbie Ferguson-McKenzie, Aileen Bailey, and Ivette Lilova at the 2004 Olympic Games. By the time she was 19 years old, she managed to win her first world title, defeating legendary sprinter Veronica Campbell-Brown. She is now the most decorated athlete at the Olympics in terms of athletics and still one of the marquee names in the sport. I think when you have medal tally that outdoes Usain Bolt, it really shows just how successful she was. The thing she has over every other female on this list is that she dominated from her days as a youth-level athlete up to even past her prime, remaining consistent and facing new challengers all of absurdly high quality. So as controversial as her position at the number one spot is for many, there are certain concrete facts that is undeniable, and one is that there is no other female athlete who have been successful for as long as Felix has been. She has certainly set the bar quite high for female sprinting in the country, and it will take a special career's worth of work for any female to remove her as the greatest female sprinter to have emerged from the United States. While the country has produced loads of quality throughout the year, these are the women that we consider to be the greatest of them, however you might have a different opinion. That is why you're invited to share your list of the 5 greatest female sprinters from the United States in the comments section below.